Steady. Game on. Coming up next, OG versus Team Liquid.
What a game. What brands? OG versus Liquid. Our first of the final 3 eliminations, Kevin.
That's pretty exciting. We got EU versus EU. Later, we got NA versus NA. One of the teams from each region go away.
Yep.
Twitch chat is probably not going to have some bias line, right? It'll be like regular team versus team excitement. The casters will have no bias.
See, you know, that was actually
there will be no bias.
See, that was the beautiful thing. We were discussing this before, like we went into the full panel. It's just like, you know, it's the greatest thing about coming from Australia. I have no bias because I have...
That's not true.
Almost.
Are you kidding me?
No players.
Literally every time newbie comes online, you're like, Australia.
Yeah, but it becomes a meme, right? It's like Na'Vi loses, Toby cries. I've just destroyed the PGL Twitch chat. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm really not that sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. It's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, but like the last match, like having TNC versus Na'Vi, like it's the full fanboy. So all of Southeast Asia will be staying up very late or waking up very early to watch that one, and either way, they're going to lose.
That's probably true. I feel like that's where a big Na'Vi fan base is in the Philippines for sure, since it's such a long-standing team for sure. But still looking really forward to this match. It's going to be close, I think. Both teams can win it. I think OG's been playing a little bit sloppier. Their match earlier today, I wasn't super convinced on their play.
Yeah.
They certainly got outlaned. I felt by
that's why I was surprised
Mineski.
before when you're like saying it's gonna be really close, because for me, like, it felt like Mineski gave him a ticket. Like, it was an unforced error from Mineski that OG was just able to capitalize on.
An unforced error from Mineski? In that
it's the double jump of Mushi, like the first one that happened around Roshan, like, you know, there was one later on when the base was being sieged. Like, it's just moments like this where you're like, okay, ice, how hard can you carry?
I just think there's a lot of times where a hero like Nature's Prophet has trouble in the late game, is all. Like, a lot of them are going Orchid or Bloodthorn with nullifiers that they can technically kill a hero, but it's not the most reliable lockdown. Your opponents have opportunities. There's things like that make the game hard. And even though Ice 1 has laned really well, it still put them in this position where they still have to deal with Naga Song and Ensnare and a Dragonite that's relatively untouched in farm. So, but at least laning stage-wise, maybe we can just look at it as OG just had a outside of the normal correlation of a bad game. Like, they just had a bad laning stage, period. And once they had a bad laning stage, it makes the rest of the game look really weak.
Yep.
So maybe it's just something like that. Perhaps they can get over that hurdle and just play a good game against Liquid.
I'm wondering actually how they do that. Like, because if you look back at their draft, like they had Flyers, Witch Doctor, they had like it's DK, ET, Omni, and Naga. Like you're pushing the Naga into the one role, which isn't something we've been seeing as much of. It's more of that like kind of support kind of problem.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just OG going back to their roots, just saying let's just play our comfortable heroes, let's play the heroes we think we can win on. But you still have that much trouble. Like
they just honestly they really got wrecked in the first level. Basically, No Tail gets first blooded.
Yeah.
And it's a Naga plus a Witch Doctor. It should be a fine dual lane, but because they got so far behind, then Witch Doctor's behind, doesn't have boots for a long time. Naga gets pressured constantly with right clicks and stuff. It made the game so hard for them because Ice just has such a great game. It just transitioned. So I think if their laning stage goes a bit better, maybe next time they'll be more hesitant about grabbing Naga Siren because they might be going down the road. But I think there is some potential for core Naga that maybe skips Radiance. I think the agility build has some potentially. I shouldn't have said that, but I don't know. It should be a really good game. I think OG's maybe the consistency question mark, but Liquid looked really, really good earlier today. They played their high ground perfectly. They ended the game at like 25 minutes, and I don't know. What are the players to look at this game? What do you think?
You know, for me, actually, I want to see who sets the tempo of this one. I want to look at the battle with Mind Control, the 3 positions. For me, like Mind Control versus, it's. Like, who's going to get the better jump out of these guys? Like, S4, a legend of the game for a long time. Mind Control, we're talking about Nature's Prophet himself. This guy just ran rings around absolutely everybody, both doing split pushing, doing initiation. So these are the 2 guys I look for, at least as far as how does this game play tempo-wise.
I feel like both of the players are sort of picking similar heroes right now, a lot of like tempo heroes. With that said, Mind Control has been playing some more core roles. Some games he's been playing the mid lane, even if it isn't something like a Bat Rider. I'm just remembering this game where he played Bat versus,
the Bat versus DK.
The EG DK and just absolutely owned. But I could also see a lot of Nature's Prophet. I feel like Nature's Prophet has always been one of Mind Control's best heroes. Maybe all the teams are going to trend into him now, and it could become a Mind Control game. Who knows?
Yep. We start blaming Misery for this one because actually then again he wasn't the first. I think it was the first success in this tournament for being like pulling EG back from the brink.
I would look at it more like if somebody is so confident that Prophet is good that they play him as a support, that maybe Prophet is good, is maybe how it should be considered.
Okay.
Because he definitely has some laning issues where he can't really stop you from running at your heroes for that like
hey, the
4 to 10 minute dive period.
The like, 4 position worked. Like you always pick up the slack when a hero starts to rotate. You always had that push out. There's always a trade option.
It was real bad from 4 to 10 minutes, that game.
I will not lie about that one. Like it was around the 30 to 40 minutes where I was like, oh, this is actually a really good hero in this position. Reaching that point is the trick.
Yes, it did really strong things that definitely gave them the upper hand and allowed them to kind of eke out a win in that game. I don't know. I think the lane stage is a big part of this matchup here. OG has looked relatively consistent in the laning stage. I think their late game execution has had some cracks in it. Liquid, a little, but that was more like hero specific, I felt like, than it was like player execution. So I just give Liquid, I would estimate Liquid has 60% chance to win the laning stage, maybe. Maybe there should be some percentage in there that's like, oh, they go even, I guess. But I just feel like Liquid has a higher chance of winning laning stage, making a few less errors. Maybe, I mean, the hero pools on both teams are pretty similar. So I don't necessarily think drafting in terms of laning is going to make a big difference. But maybe we will see some super next level drafting stuff.
Yeah. I'd like to see it at least from OG. Like we always expected out of Kura. Like I don't think anyone's ever going to go into a draft and say, man, Kura is not going to draft really well, or he hasn't out mind gamed somebody. Like you're always feeling like that's going to happen. Haven't really felt that from OG in a long time. And even when OG won back in the past, it always felt like, hey, yeah, they got exactly what they wanted. And how the hell they managed to do that like 6 games in a row and then win a major. So for me, like, I wonder, how does OG approach the draft? What do they ban out against Team Liquid? What's the critical thing they actually try and attack? Because if they let Team Liquid kind of just do their normal draft, their normal gameplay, I feel like OG's not going to be in this game at all, and it won't be the close game we're both hoping for. But we're about to find out. The draft is already beginning, so we shall see how Fly wants to put the first foot forward, as he is the first ban, first pick.
The obvious first hero to talk about is IO.
Yep.
Something Liquid grabs regularly. They've been very effective with it when they do grab it. It makes their lanes very strong. But
I'm wondering about the rotation heroes as well from GH. Like if we looked at the ES, but then it's like how do you stop it? Like you can ban the IO, you've got ES, you've got Coddle. Like if you want to start focusing GH instead, I'm okay with banning out the global, like taking out heroes like IO, just so you don't have that problem if they jump behind.
I feel like GH has been playing a lot of heroes like Elder Titan. Maybe that's just because I think he played it earlier today. It's all the games kind of blend together, but a rare Coddle ban, something that happened constantly last tournament, is going to come back here for the finals. Maybe this means that OG wants to take Nature's Prophet in the first phase.
You had ESAA from Liquid earlier today.
Yeah, the Earthshake, or the Earth Spirit.
The ET was by OG.
Elder Titan.
Yeah, the Elder Titan was from OG.
Okay, so I have it the other way around. My bad.
You won't see him anyway. Liquid's going to ban him out in the second phase, so no ET, no Tiny.
I think Earth Spirit's another big hero that's very likely to be drafted. JRX has been playing it fairly well. Maybe they had some issues the other day, but I feel like the heroes had a decent win rate. Very capable gank hero in the early mid game.
At the moment, both teams are letting it through. In fact, they will through the first phase. Jara is the final one, and it was more of a focus from Fly on Kuro's Chen. No overwhelming pushing, and no GH Keeper of the Light in this game.
We have a Naga Siren. We have a Terrorblade that's gone through, which I think is fairly worth talking about, since it's I think Liquid does prioritize that hero. Seems like when Miracle gets it, they win.
Do you want to open with Terrorblade, or do you want to just go with the Razor?
Yeah, Razor's actually also extremely likely here. There's a lot of good tier 1 heroes. I think Prophet is a potential, and they end up going for the Earth Spirit. I think that definitely suits JRX's playstyle, gives him pretty strong, decent dual lane, very strong like mid game, like the 4 to 10 minute period for laning stage, very strong there, and pretty good late game on top of that. But I think Prophet, Razor, Terrorblade, these are the core heroes to be looking at as potential picks by Liquid's side, and we'll see what they go for.
Yeah. I like the fact that OG had so many smiles in their room. Like, there was a little bit of a joke going around. We went straight to JRX's face with a smiley face from him. Here's the SK as well as the DK from Team Liquid. So, two huge staple pickups of the tournament.
Yeah, Sanking is definitely the other hero, at least offlane / support-wise, that has been pretty consistent. The other hero I was thinking about was AA, in terms of his ability to win lanes. And like, I feel like something that's really valuable right now is the ability to blink, instantly stun somebody, and then kill a hero regardless of who they are. I think AA really facilitates that, Sanking really facilitates that. In a lot of ways, Dragon Knight does as well. It's another stun initiation that's fairly instant, and does give Liquid these options once they hit mid-game to go around and just create space, get kills, which therefore lead into Roshan towers.
I'm almost waiting for like the Batrider pickup, just so OG can do what Team Liquid.
Yeah, just stomp the Dragon Knight in lane.
Yeah, potentially, or at least force Liquid to be pushed into lanes which they may not want to do. It wouldn't be bad for S4. I guess we'll be very happy to have it on the off lane too.
That sentence just seems so foreign to me. Force Liquid the lanes that they don't want. Like, I feel like no matter what, they have control over their ability to do this. Like, I feel like they're never on the back foot that way. They're the ones that are always more willing to step out of their comfort zone because of the fact that they can just take whatever player they want of their 3 cores and put them mid-safe or off lane. Like, all of them can play pretty much every core role.
Well, this feels like a very safe approach from OG.
I like it. I think No-Tail's Death Prophet has been, or I'm sorry, I guess it has been mostly No-Tail Death Prophet now that I think about it. But I think his Death Prophet has been very solid. It's not maybe the biggest resolution hero, but it's somebody that can sacrifice a little bit and kind of be the front of the team in terms of pressure. And I think it's something that teams that maybe not as confident in the meta right now, it's really safe and strong for them to kind of resolve around this one hero.
Yeah.
Item build's pretty straightforward. Go like Yules with Middown or Solar Crest. And then it's just kind of hard to die. Maybe he'll need him like a Hood or a BKB this game.
Yeah. I always just wonder, like, it's great as long as you can have a follow-up, as long as you actually can have the team fight you want. But if Team Liquid are capable of just disengaging from the exorcism, if they're capable of like stopping the push, this, for me, is very dangerous for OG because they can't force the issue. And then what are you doing? Like, it's G-Rex who wants to initiate in. That's where I was kind of hoping you'd have a little bit more of a flashier style hero. But if you delay this, now what do you get? Like, if this is potentially resolution or no tail, what's going to be your big core that carries you? We've seen Death Prophets fall off during this tournament already. Do you have to then go something a little bit more early game based? Do you go even late game and to say the Death Prophet will create space, go a morphling?
I would say late game she's more vulnerable than she is early game. Like early game she's such a good tempo setter with Exorcism because it turns into objectives, whether it's towers or Roche or early gank fights. It is cooldown limited obviously, but I think it's strong in a lot of other areas. Good at team fighting, I think is safe to say. Even like the silence is definitely impactful at times. OG banning the AA, which obviously combos for a guaranteed kill with Dragon Knight or Sand King at early and mid-game stages. And we'll see the TB ban in the second phase. Definitely a lot safer for Liquid to not open with it. I thought maybe they would consider prioritizing it, but I think obviously they're such a confident team. They know their roles, they know their drafting, that they're able to open with something that's less counterable in the first phase.
It's still very hard for them too, though. Like, yeah, less counterable in the early phase, but this is a best of one against OG. If they don't get this exactly right, they'll have trouble, and Warlock is the hero that comes in. So a lot more team fight being lacquered on right now for Team Liquid. And OG need to think about the save or at least some kind of range battle. Really
strong laning. Fatal Bonds with Sand King, Epicenter potentially is amazing damage output. They also ban Witch Doctor, which is pretty sure Fly's best hero right now. And Omni Knight works out amazing with Death Prophet as well. Just makes the hero so much harder to kill at early to mid stages of the game. And obviously he's a strong laner. So they're trying to force OG to have to grab heroes that are exploitable. And they've also been covered by grabbing a Warlock.
No, I wish I called that. I was sitting in my head just like, well, if Fly can't play Witch Doctor, he's got to play Dazzle, right?
it is one of his classic heroes for sure.
It's exactly where he heads.
And it's something we haven't seen that often, actually. I think it's not very picked in this tournament. It
doesn't have as many combo heroes as it used to. Like Death Prophet was actually one of the heroes that Dazzle used to combo with a lot, but like back when Huskar was even thought about being selected.
Hey, still could be.
Yeah, we could have a Huskar game. It would have been really great against a hero like a Gyrocopter because the increase in armor kind of makes a lot of the physical damage just go at the wayside.
It's okay.
But Liquid have a good mix of physical and magical, or will.
It's a good way to keep Death Prophet alive. If they have an Earth Spirit with a Dazzle, it'll help offset the fact that Dazzle can't gank very well. But between like heals and Weave, the best thing about this, and this is kind of like maybe one of the first, maybe this was Manila Major or the first major that OG won. It was Manila, right? I believe that was I think it was Manila.
The first major that OG won would have been Frankfurt, the first ever major.
Oh yeah,
the only major they didn't as in like back before we had this system, the only major they didn't win was Shanghai.
That's right. Yeah, Frankfurt was the first one. But anyways, OG's Dazzle is super common. They've been doing this forever. Sometimes like Huskar cheesing. They've also always been very good at just like pushing and staying alive with Dazzle and just kind of slowly overpowering your opponents and taking the win.
Well, the Enchantress gets picked up. So we'll see if OG actually want to get a little bit closer with their fighters. Ursa Warrior, a nice pickup and Lifestealer against the Enchantress. They will have that Dazzle to enable a frontline jumper.
It's also going to be really good in lane too. I feel like Dazzle can beat it potentially, depending on what the core that they match with it is. Maybe something like an Ursa looks appealing to OG right now.
Yeah, Ursa or Lifestealer is what I was thinking.
Both would be very good for sure. They could Lifestealer because the Earth Spirit. I think those are definitely really good predictions. Ursa's a little bit weak against Dragon Knight, but if he gets an Axe potentially, he can interrupt any of those jump combos that Sand King or Dragon Knight wants to do. So I think either of those could be pretty solid. Not very good at hitting towers outside of Exorcism. That's the only big negative. But they could grab other carries and still beat Enchantress.
The Morphling is one of the other ones that's still floating around in my head just because just how powerful it is. I don't know how it would work as far as laning and timing go, but you'd at least have that magical pop that the Enchantress can't protect against.
Could work. They end up grabbing. There's that Bat Rider against Dragon Knight. Well, it might be that matchup. Could be Enchantress, perhaps. I feel like that's another potential win lane. They do ban the Huskar just in case.
No cheese, please. No cheese. Only the ones that come from Roshan.
Yeah, OG not surprised there at all. Huskar can work. Maybe it would have been okay that game. If he gets like enough HP where the chain stun isn't the most dangerous thing, and he gets some evasion, he certainly could just snowball the enemy team.
It would have been the problem. Like the problem on the front lines while Death Prophet is just ripping you and combining with the Bat Rider initiation. Like, I'm liking the vision, I'm liking the initiation. This is OG like being able to set the pace as far as initiation goes. Liquid will set the pace as far as what fights do we actually want to take.
OG definitely needs a lot of damage right now that isn't cooldown reliant as well.
Yep.
So right now it's just Exorcism, Batrider, Lasso, and the thing that...
that's where Ursa and Lifesteal still just make sense for me.
Yeah, the thing that EG had trouble with when they played their... or I'm sorry, that Liquid had trouble with when they played Batrider versus Dragon Knight, is once they hit the mid game, they didn't have that much carry potential. I think it was just a PL or something like that, and Batrider had a great early game, but he just doesn't transition outside of disabling heroes and kind of doing damage. At some point, people get solutions. So PL would have been very survivable against Batrider, can doppelgang against the Napalm. Difficult to lasso, difficult to fight.
As we saw, like there was that 4-second cooldown time on Doppelganger in a game yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, it was it's 3 seconds.
3
actually.
seconds.
So good. And the PL ban could honestly say either Ursa or Lifestealer. Maybe more likely Ursa, but both heroes are a little bit bad in terms of AoE.
Well, they got 10 seconds to choose, so OG, they're going to go for Lycan.
Another physical damage hero. Some teams, Complexity grabbed a Lycan against Enchantress. It actually worked out pretty well. I think it was Enchant. But high physical damage, very good at pushing towers, can also split push. A lot of summons. I think this is a pretty solid pick. They're going to have some damage issues against Dragon Knight, but between Spirit Siphon and some of the magic damage they have, I think this is a pretty good grab. I'm
still concerned though, like as you're saying, like it's the cooldown timer, right? And you got to wait for Shapeshift to come back up again. It's
I agree, but they can take Roche, for example. They can push towers. If they just kill the enemy team, they're fine. And Shapeshift's not the longest cooldown. It's bad, obviously, level 1, but as the game continues, it becomes more reasonable. And yes, he still has to worry about things like losing his Necro 3 creeps to whatever Enchantress wants to steal, and she can take his Helm of the Dominator creeps. But I think the Lycan definitely gives them a lot of what they want. It's way better at tower pushing than either Lifestealer or Ursa.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
For that reason, Lycan is not a bad pick.
Yeah, for the heal bombs with wolves and minions, I'd like to see one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so Team Liquid, 13 seconds to wrap it up. They still need their one position, their hard farmer.
And they don't have the best AoE right now. I could see... I don't know if something Battle Fury makes sense, but...
Juggernaut.
Yeah, they can kill Lycan stuff really easily with this, and I think that's one of the places that they're not in the strongest position. They don't have good wave clear outside of, like...
Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Pretty solid pick. They're going to have some damage issues against Dragon Knight, but between Spirit Siphon and some of the magic damage they have, I think this is a pretty good grab. I'm
still concerned though, like as you're saying, like it's the cooldown timer, right? And you got to wait for Shapeshift to come back up again. It's
I agree.
10 seconds remaining.
They can take Roche, for example. They can push towers. If they just kill the enemy team, they're fine.
Remaining.
And Shapeshift's not the longest cooldown. It's bad, obviously, level 1, but as the game continues, it becomes more reasonable. And yes, he still has to worry about things like losing his Necro 3 creeps to whatever Enchantress wants to steal, and she can take his Helm of the Dominator creeps. But I think the Lycan definitely gives them a lot of what they want. It's way better at tower pushing than either Lifestealer or Ursa.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
For that reason, Lycan is not a bad pick.
Yeah, for the heal bombs with wolves and minions, I'd like to see one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so Team Liquid, 13 seconds to wrap it up. They're on position, they're hard farmer.
And they don't have the best AoE right now. I could see... Something makes sense, but yeah, they can kill Lycan stuff really easily with this, and I think that's one of the places that they're not in the strongest position. They don't have good wave clear outside of like Sand King and Dragon Knight. So if he picks up a Battle Fury, he can clear waves, he can push towers, push waves very fast, whereas the other Liquid heroes have issues with that late game. And Jug Spin will at least protect him a bit while the Batrider lassos him if that happens. I guess Omni's a bit neutered by Lycan summons is one of the negatives, but
yeah. It could also just be like, so I'm liking both sides of the draft. I'm liking Liquid as far as being just a team right now, the way they play a little bit more, but I'm kind of liking OG's draft a little bit more. Primarily because I think OG have still better initiation. They have better abilities to actually chain. They got better, like they got a lot of great push power that's behind them, and they've still got that save that comes from the dazzle. So this single target which you want to try and go for with the Omni Slash or the target against Dragon Tail, you're not going to get that kill. It's not a guarantee.
That's assuming it's not dazzle that gets gone on. I just feel like it feels like OG's draft is a lot better in terms of like save, sort of team fight push. Yep. Whereas on the Liquid side, they're team strong. Their clowns are lower. There's a lot of benefits, I think, to Liquid's draft. But I think OG gets a bit of an advantage. They have some joke solutions. They can maybe roll over this game with the heroes they have, especially if they finish. They're definitely way better early pushing.
Well, we'll see how they roll. Right now, S4 is sitting on that Bat Rider up on the top lane, while the other four smoking up and heading down south for OG. So Jirax ES, Resolution Death Prophet, Fly on the Dazzle, and leaves No Tail on that Lycan. Putting up towards top is Mind Control as the Enchantress. There'll be offlane support for the SKGH. Miracle will be the Juggernaut. Currently, we will assume nothing. Matumba could also be playing that mid role if they want to as the DK, and then Kuro supporting Warlock on the bottom, so the Juggernaut and the DK can bounce wherever they want to once they feel the lane's right. And there's been no full apart from spotting the Bat Rider for half a second, I think, on the top.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid's lanes are a lot more obvious in this case. Enchantress is almost always going to go off lane and pressure a hero, but looks like it's just Bat Rider, which is definitely a decent matchup there. Pretty good 1v1. He doesn't really care if he can't attack very fast because he can just stand on top of Enchantress. If he can catch her, she's way faster than he is. That's one benefit that she has. She basically already has boots. And then I think another really crucial part of this game is the potential for Fly to just shut down any of Miracle's early rotations. I think if he can keep people alive through Omni Slashes and some of those first movements, then Miracle's ability to tempo the game is going to be way different. But it's still Miracle, so I kind of feel like he's going to be able to do this and maybe outsmart Fly a little bit, because he outsmarts almost every Dota play in the world. But if Fly can catch those rotations or be in the right place at the right time, it'll make a huge difference.
They're already starting their walking rotations. This is being watched by Jirax. They have the observable on bottom that sees the fact that Kuro is still remaining exactly where he is. So yeah, Miracle goes top, Mind Control goes bottom. And have they already done their own switch here, OG? Because S4 has now ended up on the bottom lane. They'll rolling boulder into mid, just saying hello to the DK at the very beginning. Not much more than that. Yeah, Kuro already realizing it, and because the Juggernaut was taking all that time to walk, they now TP into their lane. So Mind Control is just be top after walking all the way to bottom, and Miracle has done vice versa.
And technically, OG can do the same thing. No Tail walked all the way top, so he could also recognize the lane and be like, I'm out here. In fact, the map is...
strike up on top. Trouble right now for Fly. He's trying to retreat back in time. He went for Shadow. Went for the Shadow Weapon. And not the Shallow Grave, of course. Yeah, trying to get a little bit more aggressive, and he gets gone on.
He's trying to nuke the Wolf there, but way too much damage. No Tail also had to use Howl level 1, which is a big loss for his laning stage. Big mistake there by Fly. Not good. And
S4 being spun on the bottom lane. Upheaval is down as well, so No Tail gets back underneath the tower, but on bottom lane, S4, he won't have the life. Tries to juke it through the tree line. Needs more regeneration time. Miracle can't keep up. Wow. And with the sticky napalm, he can't turn around in time either. Jirax was keeping Kuro occupied while all that was going on. Now they want a rolling ball forward onto Miracle. Miracle has 7 stick charges, however, so this is going to be a very difficult kill for them to claim, and TP's coming in from GH. OG will break off the attack, and in fact, the TP was only posturing. He never completed.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to be a jug kill, but S4 did check. He had 8 wand charges there, so there's no way that he was actually going to die without some crazy tower diving. Impressive that S4 didn't go down. I thought for sure he was going to die. And ultimately, OG getting the worst of the traits here. They get the first blood on the top support, whereas Warlock on the other side of the map gets fast level 2.
Kuro in trouble with Jirax and S4 right behind him. No real way to escape from this one, thanks to the TP already being burned by GH previously. Support cannot come in soon enough. So Kuro will they do drag the offlaner off, but it's still a good kill for S4.
Yeah, that's huge actually. That's going to give him... They didn't burn the charges either, so at least Warlock has a 10 stick. Ultimately, No Tail's not having the best time, sitting at 3 last hits compared to the 10 on all 3 cores on Liquid side. So Liquid's going to be happy with how this game started.
Yeah. But as you said, Liquid were expecting this. Their laning phase was meant to be absolutely amazing. That's why the pressure is on players like Jirax to do this type of stuff. He rolling boulders in on Kuro on the ground, but Fly, he can't let this happen. He can at least Shadow Wave and do some decent damage if they want to stick around him. That's why GH is getting a little bit more space. Okay, he still took the damage. It's a level 1. Shallow Grave. Fly, stands his ground. One more attack. Can he actually get the range? No, he can't. And then he tries to touch the untouchable mind control. 2 points up for him. Miracle's in trouble. 3 sticky napalm charges, but back up to the safety of the tier 1 tower and the armor that comes along with it.
It's a pretty tough lane here for Miracle, actually. He's got 10 seconds left on spin. On the bright side, he's not going to have any mana problems here, because anytime he casts a couple sticky napalms, then or something, he's got another spin, which is normally not something that Juggernaut can afford to do.
OG didn't switch their lanes up. We talked about the fact that Team okay, Jirax rolling ball is out, can't so Miracle body blocks him perfectly. But yeah, surprised that you didn't actually just throw the Batrider up to the top lane, let NoTel play the bottom, because they had the TPs available, and it was Liquid who were changing the lanes up to get these matchups.
They did, but on the bright side, I guess if Light can go to the safe lane, he has control over his own pulls. So maybe it was just like, we'll try to outsmart them, but if it doesn't work, we don't want to play like lane fast. What's that chair name?
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs. Thank you, man.
Musical
almost
lanes.
said roulette. I was like, nobody shoot themselves here.
Please. Well, depends what type of roulette you're playing for that type.
True. So lane-wise, last hit. Still a moderate advantage for Liquid. Being up 1k gold at the 4-minute mark is pretty big.
They're about to go on top lane. They already hit with the Hadouken Blast, and support is there. Flyers waiting for it. GH just burrow striking. Thanks to that Observer and Sentry on the other side of the tree line. OG know exactly what's coming at him. That's why Fly has to hold the Shallow Grave.
He's fine though. I mean, NoTel's got a Ring of Regen picked up. He's got a Mango for a potential wand.
And he's got
and
CS
2
finally.
points, a Feral Impulse. So he's actually got a lot of regen, almost 20 with the Tango usage. So he can take this tank. And from here on, he should be fine in terms of last hitting.
Bringing Jirax to the north. Gives still vision thanks to the Obs and Sentry, and this is nighttime. So Team Liquid may not be exactly certain more.
This is pretty good gank potential, especially if they get Wolves on top of whoever they go on. Wolves plus the Shadow Wave could make a lot of damage difference, and Jirax has 2 points in Boulder Smash as well, so 1 second stun duration, decent damage from him. And
GH, it's the wraparound. He's got to get both of them flying. NoTel. It's a level 2 burrow, so he can just for it, but it would have brought him underneath the tower. So now he just goes in. It's on to Fly. They want him down, rolling ball. Here he comes back into the engagement. He's after GH for the moment, Fly will survive, but GH will not be so lucky. Down the hill towards the center, cannot make it in time. So NoTel. Patience is rewarded on the top. Not only CS, but his first kill of the game.
The rollout, who barely escapes there. That was pretty scary. If that actually caught on top of mind control, there's a high chance he goes down. But Fly is going to lose his clarity, just use this, and now he's going to be grooving again. Although he's got a big heal.
He needs friends. He needs Jirax to miss the kick, but mind control went left. When the kick went right.
Pretty unfortunate from there. Matoma Man is also level 6 here, got a little bit of a level advantage against Resolution. But either way, their sets are very equal, so I don't think either player is going to be too upset with how this went.
S4 is having a really good time on bottom. Testing any of these stack switcher Team Liquid, but also controlling the runes by doing so.
Radiant's middle tower
multiple bounties, a good start for a Batrider is a good start for OG, mainly because they need to have that good initiation from him.
They're putting a lot of effort on this possible Ignite kill here. I think it's a good attempt. They can do Exorcism. Okay, they just use a Mango on Resolution to go for this potential kill here. He's got Exorcism and Chase.
The player just saw S4. He saw him trying to flank around the back, pinged it out instantly, and they just lost their Dire Observer Ward 2.
Yep. This gank is over, and that's really bad for OG. Burn a Mango, rotated 4 heroes to the lane. That means they're not doing anything off lane right now, levels-wise. Rezo said, my bad. Maybe they wanted full mana, more mana so before they went on this fight. I'm not sure, but it would have been pretty tough.
Well, maybe they can at least get the courier. It's flying out of Wraith Band to the bottom.
Good luck. That's like 5 hits from a Batrider or something.
Can Jirax still with
they're gonna try.
Yeah, you're gonna give a crack at the courier while mid lane has a go-to. After the fly, S4 needs one more attack to get this courier, but get back to the safety of the tier 1 tower. The courier went right top of him.
Yeah, so pretty right. They moved the courier the right way. He was watching it for a second. Maybe he wasn't paying attention, but that's a Miracle special. He just runs confidently. He knows what to do.
The damage was your bar. He didn't even hope throw it.
He was too far away. He would have had to go in right away. So maybe they can get a kill on Jirax though if they get the burst strike.
That's a little bit of trouble right next to Roshan, staying stuck. Dragon Tail stunned up. The Shadow Word's on him as well. It's a lot of tick damage. Jirax does die in the bottom, and No-Tail tries to reach Roshan for denial. But all a little bit too slow, so Team Liquid, 2 nice kills, and more space for Miracle to do damage to the bottom tower.
I mean, those are just good kills. Pick up the 4 position and the carry. Not a good place to be for OG right now. They're kind of moving around, trying to get stuff done. Barretter's not 6 yet. Fly's only level 3. He does finally get his boots of speed, but they're kind of just losing all the lanes right now. Through K gold disadvantage at 8 minutes is disadvantage.
They're going to rotate in towards mid lane again. They're going to give a crack towards Matombaman. This time around, there's no supports from Team Liquid ready to be there. But they have to get that Firefly sticky napalm. Go down Matombaman, and they do it with perfect timing. Spirit, Siphon, and Exorcism. That gets way too much damage from Matombaman to deal with. While Jirax at the bottom. Forest Strike down. Miracle finishes up the tower while My Control takes one of his own. And Jirax can't rolling bolt. GH was there to block it. But it won't matter. This is still 2 tier 1 towers. DK.
Yeah, OG can do some tower damage, mate, at least. Quickstorm's used, got 30% or so of exorcism left, and it's time to walk.
TP's coming in from GH.
I mean, it's basically perfect circumstance. They get an exorcism activation, they kill the enemy hero, and instantly the creep wave is dead, and they're hitting a tower. So it forces a glyph. They do a lot of damage to the tower, and if that happens again, the tower...
They're asking for help on bottom. Miracle stunning his spin. He hasn't used his TP yet, so if they want to have a crack at him, a TP down to the shrine will be all that's really required. Resolution is here with Fly at the shrine. Miracle stands his ground. The healing wall's giving him life back to fight, but no Omnislash spins off cooldown in 1 second. And now Miracle can actually spin TP out if he wants to.
Ooh, Fly come by another order.
GH. No, lost the vision.
6 on bat here. GH is going to go in probably, but they don't have fall off just yet. That's actually a little bit over.
Spirit side on GH. He needs to go in Viz. Sanction's available. Here comes No-Tail. Dog form. GH does go in Viz. Where's the detection? Fly brought it. The Sentry Wood's there. So Resolution can claim the kill.
Great rotation. A rare mistake, actually, from Liquid. GH thought that it was time to go in. Liquid backed off at the same time. And
My Control just TP'd in. The upheaval is down. And OG is only level 1, so they still have the movement speed back out. But Miracle, he comes in from behind. No-Tail and Fly back to the tier 1 tower. No-Tail needs more life to breathe. Fire dropping him so low, but not low enough. Miracle, he can walk out of this one. The healing wall is already back up, so they're getting a lot of life back in there. 61 HP regen a second for the TK. And that's the target. But OG would think it's going on. And they instantly regret the decision. Breathe fire and the spin. So much AoE and Mind Control. Focus firing down with those impressors. No-Tail, you know he's dead to rights. And they fatal bonded them up. He cannot continue this engagement.
The chase looks so good. They had so many stacks on the Dragon Knight, but from there, they finally turn around and outdamage their opponents. OG feeling like they had some blood for once, that they could get another kill, but they just didn't have enough damage and chase power. There's no boots yet on Lycan. He just picks them up now, but this is their disable problem. Like 2 stuns make things easy. Upheaval on top of 2 stuns, they can chase forever. Because right now they're relying on like sticky napalm to get some of this stuff done.
It's the multiple slows, right? Like a sticky napalm, a Spirit Siphon, but they were also taking that engagement against a full Liquid lineup without burning Exorcism because it was already gone. Resolution. Okay, stands his ground a little bit longer. Body blocked by his own creep wave. I'm not quite certain if he's trying to force this engagement or not.
The tower is dead.
Yes.
Once Enchantress takes your other catapults, and you've got a Dragon Knight ulti committed, yeah, it's over.
They're drawing a line to head north. Observers and sentries go down from Fly. But it's the Observer the batter is right on top of. Doesn't have Firefly for S4. It did sticky napalm up the hill, so they sentry ward wondering where the vision was. It doesn't exist there. GH hides in the pit just in case OG keeps the chase going, which they will not. They want to back up again for the silence. Oh, the Miracle, perfect. Jirax timing it wonderfully. They didn't even need Resolution's 1 point up in silence to make that kill on Juggernaut work.
It was perfectly done. It was a very difficult gank, actually, to roll in at the same time, do a silence pull. If he spun anticipating that, he would have really Jirax did it just in time.
They can get another kill.
And they get him.
Warlock just threw down the Observer Ward. Jirax, he's uncertain. We're in nighttime again. He didn't have vision when off Kuro when he smoke broke, but Kuro put down the Observer Ward, so vision was his.
It's just so sick. They're playing so fast. Both teams totally anticipating where the next point on the map that they're going to move, and they put the ward down at the same time. That's exactly why Warlock warded there. Spot these heroes rotating over. Same reason that they warded on their high ground after they lost the tier 1 on OG side. Like the teams are pretty close here, and so it's to advantage now.
Rolling boulder, going on to Matombaman. They just have to time him up. Firefly is down. Resolution holding the Exorcism.
Yes, but Tubberman with a magnetize, not really getting what he wanted, but it gets space. No-Tail dominated a siege creep. We've done so much damage taking out both the tier 1 tower, and now Howler fortification being
is under attack.
adds pressure to the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, those totally fine. Magnetize is great ultimate, but
Liquid's Ward's perfect for this. They're rolling Boulder. Doesn't find GH instantly. Jirax needs to find a good line for the kick. And well, where is your real target? Jirax wants to TP out, and OG are bailing as quick as they can.
yeah, little overestimation there. He thought he could get the kill, or at least there would be a dive worth doing, but it was very dangerous to commit to that. So this is going to give No-Tail time to push up the top lane at least. Not all bad for him.
That's good money for farm. A good time for farm to get money, because he got level 1 Necro book by farming the bottom lane previously.
And Resolution pushes out the mid lane a little bit. Juggernaut's just not queuing up his battle. Just going to start it. Asha as well face. Just like an early team fight, roam, fast kind of build before he goes for the farming items. And this is going to be fine. Still in a good place. They just have to, they're a little bit less able to move around the map, at least until they get their blink daggers. And because we're talking about a support Sanking, he's not quite there yet. He's close. 1900 gold on him, 1600 on the Dragonite. They're going to get their blinks, and that's when things change for Liquid. So I don't know if OG needs to get some stuff to happen in the next couple of minutes before these blinks come up, because if they don't, they're going to be the ones that are getting pressured.
Yep. I actually thought Lycan got down money in that bottom lane. He's still short of the recipe. It's not so bad once he cleaned up top lane, but you're now 350 gold away from Necro Book 1.
Yeah, he's just got to be careful about how much he pushes out. There's not any towers left on the top lane, at least at tier 1. So the safety TPs would be tier 2 or Shrine. He has to commit ultimate. It just didn't that bot fight, or the bot escape maybe. So he's really limited if he gets found.
Tubman's going for a walk under the Invis rune. He's not in range of the Dire Sentry, just don't know where he is. But there's a lot of space being created on the side lane. Jirax is utilizing him for OG, Mind Control is utilizing him for Liquid. But everyone else has gone bush.
With the Yule Scepter on Death Prophet now, he should be able to potentially have some big plays in team fights. Roche is started by Liquid now, though.
Yeah.
So if they can see this coming, it's great work here in the mid lane by Liquid. It should spot their hero rotations over there. They have a smoke, they do on full. So this could be the way they initiate here. But Blink coming on Batrider, it might be a little bit too late, though.
There's a Blink also coming in on GH. So both sides will have their Blink daggers for initiation.
They need
walk
to go
right
now,
over
though.
the top of the Observer. In fact, they smoke on top of the Observer Ward. Liquid, do you commit? Roshan down to 2k HP. The Observer Ward's there. They see 3 heroes backing out of Roshan. And the initiation, it comes on the GH. The Blink dagger is revealed. And it's from Jirax with the last thing pulling him back in. The fight with Magnetize continues. A huge roll. This is what the be in this for Jirax. But Tubman will go down as well. A double kill for No-Tail. A huge fight. Now they move. Roshan, OG. Is there any kind of contest? GH with the Blink dagger thinking about it, but Jirax, the Night Watchman, is there.
Oh man, that road attempt looks so good for Liquid. He had a pretty cool play there.
They found GH. They can't climb the distance, however. Or can they?
No stones left.
There's the silence. There's stones left. The real issue. Resolution moves forward. He can potentially use a lap to reap.
It's time to back.
Yeah.
So
you just wait. Kuro, Fade Bond's going to connect him. Jirax starts his TP. He has one of his own, but he hasn't begun just yet. He was waiting for GH, and well, okay, he can't wait much. Yep. Fire Strike is cancels the TP, and Miracle kills him.
That whole Roach thing was so bad for OG there, but the cool thing they did was they had to wait for the Blink Dagger on S4, but they didn't have time to do that. They knew that Roach was getting low, so instead what they did was smoke, and in that way the ward actually hurt Liquid.
Let's actually have a look at it again. This jump in from Jirax. So it's not even just the kick he gets, it's silence the begin at all.
Silence on 3, that let them kill the Warlock before he could turn around, drop ultimate, and from there it was just a chase down situation. There was Magnetize. That's why Jirax has no stones, because he's used so many of them in that team. But they used the smoke. Liquid felt like they had to back out because they knew the initiation could be coming. And then Jirax was able to cause a little bit of a distraction that led into him getting the silence off. At that point, the Blink Dagger got delivered, used to so it was like just in time. They really did something out of their sleeves there for OG to win that fight.
Wonderful timing, wonderful positioning. Team Liquid looking pretty underwhelming, but now they're going to try and find things that actually make the fights work. You talked about Battle Fury for Miracle, something which he kind of would want to go to anyway, so they can clean up the Necropoops when they come in. That's his next item in the queue. But it's level 2 in Omni Slash. That fight began for Liquid with a extra Miracle, but no cleave. and only 3 jumps.
Yeah,
so when the damage happened, the Shadow Waves arrived from Dazzle and repaired everything that he did.
Yeah, and he was about to grave him, and he was like, "Oh, you're good. You're good. Don't even need to use grave here. I'll just put another healing." It was, you know, he did his best, but Batrider was a little too tanky there. If Miracle is more successful in some of those early rotations, I mean, he's 3-1-1. He's not doing bad, but if he had a little bit more levels, could have been a completely different fight.
They go for mind control. Blink dagger, blink blast, back in. They really didn't leave as well. GF, first run, some space, corner, out of silence. Resolution the right time. Comes Bucharest, a 1-2 kick. Way too easy. It's the ancient Bucharest can try and hide, but you really can't not get burned. They go OG, they're not barreling through Liquid. How they stand this footing when OG want to keep running. The kicks fly forward. Miracle got hit by the Full Scepter. They've got so much damage available. They're diving underneath Earballs. Resolution gets a triple kill.
Radiant's top tower is under
All the way
attack.
to tier 4, while the tier 1 is up on top, and that's what Mind Control is running straight back past. S4 wants to go for more. In 5 seconds, he'll have the Blink Dagger available, and Mind Control begins his TP. There's nothing that will cancel this, because Durex rock won't right.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That was a good chase, man. The Batrider, Death Prophet, Lycan situation. All these heroes made to do this chase thing. Even Earthspirit's good at it. And the cool thing is that once they have Blink Dagger on Bat, that's really all they need to do these chase things. Couple levels.
Here you go again.
And then they just chase them. It was a good initiation, but the issue is they have no attack speed. They actually can't kill on chips right now. And then it becomes a guess we'll kill the Warlock, and it just got better and better here for OG. And they got away from the epicenter while they were busy chasing.
Unbelievable, really unbelievable. This is probably the most unstructured fight for Team Liquid that they could ever think that happens, because OG, they're just like, they're juggernauting the front line. I just shatter a couple of shields and I move forward. I thought it was meant to be Liquid riding the horse. OG.
Yeah, they're able to take them all the way down to the fountain. And I think another crucial part, Jarek's grabbed against Juggernaut as he teleported, and I believe he basically sat there silence for a couple seconds and he's no Omni Slash. That part when it matters.
He can weave it, but there's 2 pieces. Notel had the Aegis Mono break, S-Force nearby, Blink Blast available, looking for a target. Sitting the rock, he actually caught on the Resolution at the back, Micah dropping low, he needs a shallow grave, but didn't come in time. Fly, he just doesn't have that range with the level 2 grave, and they're looking for more now, Team Liquid. Lycan's down for 45 seconds, the silencer slowing it down, and quick kick, double on that one, almost actually caught GH. That was saving the life of Dazzle, Rolling Boulder will not function. GH's positioning once again perfect. He understands ES very well.
I mean, look, reading that perfectly. All of the ultimates on OG were used. Let's go mid and let's take a fight. And by grabbing Lycan, it actually gave OG time to maybe feel too confident and try to defend him. Because once he goes down, they can certainly kill him afterwards, and they know there's no exorcism. Maybe there could have been a lasso, but not a good situation there for OG to defend. And they lose 2 heroes, and they're going to lose a tier 2 as well.
Yep, no fortification to delay this. S4 holding a double damage room with not much to do apart from the PvP. But Liquid will oblige this. They're moving backwards.
And back to push out lanes and the resets. And we're at a part of the game again where we're kind of equal.
I love this head-to-head matchup too. This is the one we talked about before we started. S4 versus Mind Control.
Well, right. Mind Control is 3-0-6. Is virtually unkillable right now, at least until later when Lycan gets maybe an attack speed item or 2. It's going to be picking up an AC. That's a good way to deal with it, but Mind Control constantly pushing out the top lane, pressuring the top tower. But S4 on the other side has been making some really crucial plays and kills. He's also 1-0-7. 0 deaths on right now.
Yep. I actually want to class Mind Control for the 1 now. Like, he is the top net worth for Team Liquid. Miracle is still behind there. He'll play catch up now. Battle Fury is done.
That's more like he had to build his catapult and now he's ready to catapult to finish. But Mind Control is doing great. His pure damage is going to be useful against heroes like Lycan, against Death Prophet. He can go through the evasion is maybe the hard part. And Resolution also picking up a BKB soon. That should make his ability to jump in and do exactly what he wants in the fight a little bit easier. Because he's still got to be a little bit worried about things like Fatal Bonds, Upheaval, Chain Stuns, whatever. Omni Slash is definitely going to be an issue for him, even with like Eagles and Solar Crest, but if Resolution can get up in front in the fights, it should be able to relieve some of the pressure that would come on the supports or somebody like Lycan.
Yep, that's why, like with the AC, they all get some extra armor. In fact, how does Team Liquid do damage in the fights? If you're at a full weave and the Assault Cuirass is up, like how do you itemize to try and
well.
get around that.
They got Enchantress here that does pure damage. They have a lot of magic damage between Sand King and even Dragon Knight and Fatal Bonds. All that stuff can definitely do a lot. Worst case, Juggernaut can eventually buy magic damage items. The Cleave is technically armor ignoring physical damage. That could also work, but they've got some options. I mean, Weave is great, but it's not going to stop all the damage from Liquid.
Good. Observe wall from flying. Scouts out. And there goes the team fight.
Look at the timing. Creep takes out the tower on both mid and bottom. This is basically Dota setting this up. He constantly push bottom with his wolves and with his Helmet of the Tornado creep, which guarantees that they don't necessarily know where the gank is going to be. And we see a right mistake. Kuro is just completely blown away. And after getting that tower, they can maybe rotate and do something else. I guess it's just a Warlock. He's not dead forever, so they'll just go back.
Micah drop a TP, but this is why G-Rex is being sent out to the front lines. He doesn't want a kicker. You gotta wait. Mind control will get a movement speed, but G-Rex body ball. He blinks forward, turns on the magnetize. Now the kick will come. F4's in range, and mind control. They can put in all the damage, and books are here too. It's coming late. Is it going to be enough damage from this flux? Still perfectly positioned in the backlines. So the chase begins from OG. We've seen this once before. We'll see it again right now. GA Bucharest will not save him. Resolution will get the kill now. It's the primary target for OG. Support is there with Jirax. And there you go. Resolution double kill. And there she blinked on a fireball. The Kuro, the man that kind of started. This dies at the very end of it.
As soon as GH goes in, I knew that was going to be bad for Liquid. They instantly lost their Enchantress. They thought that they maybe could turn things around, but once they committed and Dragon Knight's there and nobody dies, fight's going to be over because OG again, the chasing team, man, they didn't even use Exorcism. They were so confident that they were going to clean that fight. Dragon Knight still doesn't have a BKB. That means Spirit Siphon, that guy's going to die, period. He's losing so much HP from Spirit Siphon damage.
Here comes OG. Necro's off cooldown for no tail. They can do it once more. GH stands almost well away from the tower.
No glyph.
No, it could actually be top rack. You don't even have 7 seconds. Micah trying to try and fight here.
Immediately.
He's got the ulti. He needs everyone to work up. The two-man side. Miracle's going down. He needs to he can't repair it, so he just burst right foot, kills off Notal, and strands Resolution inside the Radiant base. A Yule Scepter, is it going to do anything? No, he gets a lot of life back. GH sits his ground, he's got Burrow Striker Fireball, connects over towards Dazzle again. Where is this? He's got a shallow grave up. He goes to the Shadow Wave to begin, but this Rock Golem on his tail, he can't stay close, and he knows it. Resolution all by himself. You can get a 4 and silence, but he's the movement speed with the 1 charges, and his regeneration, the kick flies forward from G-Rex. It'll only catch on the Warlock and the Yule Scepter. Trying to buy time by keeping Matumban up in the air, but Kuro finishes the job. And OG pushed so hard, all they got was a tier 3.
Amazing defense there by Liquid. I can't believe they didn't lose Rax. I thought it was all over once X comes. They don't have Glyph, but they were able to turn things around. I think the crucial moment was Juggernaut throws on his healing mode after he kills the Necro 3. That's the exact moment that OG goes in with Grip, and they were able to kill him, but it took a lot, and he was taking heal the whole time. And at that point, OG was a little bit overcommitted. Once hit, there was so much AoE damage being dealt, especially from like Batrider to his allies. I feel like the Fatal Bonds right there won the fight.
Wolves are they're spanning at Roshan. G-Rex was quick to put no charge. It was his last one onto GH. So GH will initiate for the moment. G-Rex waits for it. Magnetize is in 7 seconds. They want to wait for this. Batrider's got the blink lasso. You still don't have the death of the They look for the timing. The money. For the moment, thanks to lasso. OPES is done. Check the self-grade. The only way to save it. No tail. Does he still look like this? They've withstood a hell of a lot already. Team Liquid licking some wounds, but Roshan 5-400. Here comes the fighting back. Aegis and Cheese has been gathered. And OG have nothing more to give. In fact, they're running around so long now. Opal is getting caught out inside the river on the step. A quick foresight from S4. Hit again with the silence kick. SK needs to back off. Resolution's back the damage. Miracle will be killing off in the tree lines back in the mid lane. Just Resolution running forward. What is the pumping out all the Pez is so much got 2 left up his sleeve, but the physical damage gets through him atop finally. It'll cost G-Rex his life as Michael begins the run, but the Spirits don't care about Untouchable. They'll touch him all over it. Goodbye, Enchant. Resolution. You still pushed hard, and the Aegis Immortal was saved on Miracle.
What is this game right now? I thought it would make it a giant mistake, and all of a sudden they actually get all the kills. I know they were waiting for Death Prophet ulti there. A Lycan head fed for sure. He does end up dying, of course, but man, Revolution was able to work down the whole enemy team. That was the KB for Dragon Knight. That was his first one, 10-second gone. And there was a buyback of Earth Spirit, but if that lose, they already got a Blink Dagger. I think OG's actually super happy about this.
How good was his buyback? I feel like he came in and got such huge control factors once more.
And what's crazy is he had like he's had one stone, I feel like, for 10. He went in, I was like, I bet he's only got like 1 stone. He does a push, a punch, and that was just enough. Smashes the boulder through, stun like 3 heroes, and that buys him enough time to chase the rest.
Been a terrific performance from both sides. We'll touch of it quickly again.
Great silence on 4 heroes to buy him a little time. This is where I thought No Tail was certainly dead.
It's full after they actually came in. Like, it's just S on the Radiant side. And then the space, the timing. Pushed him up the high ground, and then GRX gets the kick.
I think Miracle had died closer in the river. The fact that Miracle had to chase him this far guarantees that OG wins the fight. At this point, Miracle didn't feel comfortable walking all the way over here to take the fight. But if he's there, right there, hitting somebody while Matumba Man dies, he can probably kill 1 or 2 more heroes, and that doesn't go so OG favored. So props to No.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Team Liquid to get tier 2 tower up on top. The bottom tower was actually reached at tier 3.
Dire are scanning,
but not enough damage to it. So both teams happy to reset after Team Liquid smoke and head back into the jungle. Oh, hi, No Tail. Yeah, you better run. You better run. Let's go get a fire strike. Matumba blinks and gets the epicenter, and he just needs to outreach the FB he can't.
A little too much damage. Still fairly easy to kill, especially from magic damage stuff. I mean, that's a double stun. I mean, they don't have an AA, so at some point I feel like he's going to be in a position where he can escape from those moments, but it's not quite there. Queuing up an ADD, some armor would help a little, but that was mostly pure in magic, I feel like. I mean, his armor's not great right now. He's only got 10, so...
Is that the time when you say, hey, maybe I should buy treads? Are you playing this for the long game?
Not really.
Like, keep brown boots and get BTs later?
I kind of wish he had treads just because it would have helped him against Enchantress and that early fight. It's not an item that Lycans really feel like. You don't change your hero just by you right-clicking. It's more like he wants all these things and auras. That way, all of his things get better, not just his hero. So treads was not going to keep him alive there. Maybe a cloak would have, but he's never going to buy that anyways.
Miracle may try and force an issue on bottom. He's still got for a little bit longer. It's a minute and a half, and then it'll have to be...
Kind of interesting that they weren't able to use this, I guess. Maybe OG's just been still pushing at this moment. I suppose it has been, right? Lycan went mid, used his ulti. He was the penalty there. So
and Resolution pushing bottom. They had TP down there to defend that.
Exactly, yeah.
They're still getting more items, so BKB's became a little bit more plentiful. You got one on Matumberman, you've got one over on the Enchantress. You've then got the way to stop the heals, so Warlock now has that Spirit Vessel available as well.
That's good. Very good against Lincoln as well.
And Miracle's completing his Lincoln Sphere. So the Crow is making his strip up right now, and this is going to make problems for S4. Like Jirac has a couple of problems. Oh, they all like, oh no! Yes! Jirac had to die there.
Just really gets spotted on the observer ward, I think, though, one place left. So ends up going down, but not the worst thing for OG. I think the hero to look at right now is Death Prophet. With all those kills that he got in the last fight, Resolution's picked up a Shiva's guard now. So he's actually extremely high armor. Very difficult to be killed.
Here comes S4. Looking for a commit. But I don't know if you really want this one. The 10-second BKB has been popped, but that's a lot of physical damage that Resolution has available. And Control is trying to outplay everything being aggroed into this engagement. The mind control will drop.
I think OG thought that they would be able to catch a little bit more there with that fight, but it's good that they got the Enchantress. I thought they were going to stick to the Sand King since he did not have a BKB, but solidifying around the Enchantress is definitely beneficial. But I wonder, what if Enchantress runs left and then Lick backs him up? I kind of feel like maybe that should have happened, but either way, OG gets a kill, but still for Exorcism, so I don't even think Liquid cares that much.
Yeah.
maybe that was the reason he ran right. Thought like, okay, not an ideal situation. They pop Exorcism, run to the right, make them waste a bit of time here, and this gives Liquid time then to let Enchant respawn, then they go and take a 5v5 fight on their terms.
I also love the fact, like, during all of that, so while Michael was running around, he actually chanted one of the Necro books and sent it all the way north and actually started pulling the dire creep wave so Miracle could add more pressure as a Juggernaut to the top lane.
That's a great idea. One other thing to do, and it burns their vision and stuff. You can prevent them from dewarding you with it, for example, by taking over to your side. I think he might have gotten a look at that. There was more OG wards here briefly, not too long ago. So Death Prophet picks up level 20 now. Health, Spirit Siphon, Mix, Magic Resistance. He is tanky.
They got smoke on the wall. Yeah. Ping ping. There is a wolf there because GH is walking around the Gem of True side. So these wolves can't just guard everything more.
Can. I mean, it's still good to trade him for this death. But vision is so much right now. And in a lot of ways, Lycan really fits OG's style. I mean, his spawn illusions, push lanes in a safe way with either Alchemist or TB. Lycan's very similar. Spawn the wolves, use a Helm of the Dominator creep. Doesn't matter what it is. Push the lane. You don't necessarily have to be there. But that kind of a lane push will change the game.
Paul's going to go for Aghanim Baptist to trigger the Link Sphere on the Juggernaut because he's got the Force Staff as well as the Yule Scepter, so this should be enough. But like, directly into Aghanims after this, is there any item which...
BKB would be the that you normally think of, and he may end up switching there depending on how this next fight goes. But Axe is pretty cool because he can even do stuff like lasso the creep next Jug without having to break the Lincolns. And hypothetically, grabbing 2 heroes would be amazing, actually, for OP. Get 2 heroes grouped up, pull them close to Death Prophet, a guaranteed double smash fall stun. It definitely has some big implications here for OG. And a better way to make Batrider even stronger than I can fight in a lot of ways. Rather than, I'm going to make my one lasso better.
Smoking and running. The haste room was too good for Batrider to pass up, and the Lycan Wolves are watching all up. So the hero is dead. They're hoping for more, but S4 scouting cannot find anything. Unless they get... Okay, hello! We've got more. They still have to get the damage out. Resolution's taking their close. So the BKB goes down to now 7 seconds. Oh, Enchantress won't find the kill.
Do you see that Jarek play there? He blinked in and boulder smashed S4. Gave him a second Force Staff, dude. That was super cool. A little pat on the butt. Launch him closer to his team. But as we've seen, cannot kill Enchantress. It's actually impossible. They needed a carry with a strong right click for this to work.
We were talking about Ursa and Livestealer in the drafting phase, but I suppose there isn't...
I would actually argue that Derek's made a mistake going for the boulder smash. He actually needed to pause and wait for the lasso to be about over and then do the boulder smash for stun instead of the distance. Distance was not important, but preventing BKB was huge.
So hold him, because like you've seen how liberal Resolute's being with exorcisms. Like that's the way we get damage into Enchantress.
Well, it's not just that. That can kill her through BKB, but if she's running away from you, it takes longer.
Yeah.
They need exorcism and they need, you know, all of their spells. Like even Spirit Siphon, Batrider damage, all of that stuff would do way more for helping kill Enchantress. I don't know if they would have gotten her either way, but 2 seconds of her standing still with OG maximizing damage might have been a kill, and then maybe would have been them going high ground.
As far as being a real pain, it was like flame break top while Liquid looking for the kill, but no one obliges. Jirax is pulling an AUI 2000, sitting in the trees on bottom, just continuously pushing.
It's a double agent spiral scouting.
The bar is true. He's got a Yule Scepter to begin with, but he needs a Yule straight away too. Pedicus from Mind Control shredded him.
It was all Mind Control stealing the wolf there. They did not realize that they were being spotted, but the double agent wolfman noticed both the wolf allows him to initiate on back. All of a sudden, whole game has changed. He's got to lie back here.
But this game was turned into the on the defense, breaking the Lincoln Sphere of Juggernaut. Here goes your Burrow Strike. Each look for that target. They all try and bounce back out again, but Negan's blast on hard for him to stand. Mind Control, I know you're untouchable. You're in real deep, man. You're real deep. Now your BKB will wear off as well. He's on 53 and 50. The Necro looks like to finish the job with the Lycan. And now you've got a straight Dragon Knight and play in the mid lane against his TP. But some of them will not be so lucky. They're going to start to stop Miracle. There was nothing. But some of them will still die. The tier 3 town takes heavy damage, but the timing couldn't be worse for Team Liquid. Roshan is back up and alive, and this is the Roshan. We've had so many. You're now giving Revolution the ability to have double exorcism.
They were just so confident going high ground there. The back and the exorcism being on cooldown, it felt good. But with just the lasso, they were able to pick up the Sand King right away. That was a huge part of their team fight. And from there, they're able to chase down the rest despite not having exorcism. So Aegis pick up here for OG. It's the game back in their hands.
It's Aegis pick up. They stole the gem of truth. They stole the gem of true sight. Aegis, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it's 2 exorcisms now.
Not good for Liquid. They still have a gold advantage, but I feel like a hero like Dragon Knight right now is just not feeling very strong. He's very vulnerable.
So we can watch this push up high ground. Miracle's your front liner, and then everything breaks him.
There was an aggressive burrow strike. There wasn't really any ability for them to silence on Dragon Knight in this moment. I don't know if he pops BKB here, but there's just no follow-up there. They didn't feel comfortable. The creep wave is gone. Bottom 2 is taking damage in the meantime. They dropped the Warlock goal. Stop Vector from pulling back his friend.
Radiant's middle
OG
tower
going high
is
ground.
under attack.
We're coming back live with S looking for he's looking for the back lines of it. Kick back out. Resolution. He is stunned up, and the exorcism is doing work. He's put his CKB available. And with no Warlock, big rock drop. They didn't have it anyway. Still caught up for 48 seconds. The damage from Resolution is just he still has a refresher shot hitting in his back to Resolution. Switch something in. He's switching his fence movement. He's that confident. He doesn't need the refresher shot. They take the main front, and OG, they just want to bail out. They got what they wanted. It's a full hit and run.
Game is now even in terms of gold and a tactical advantage to OG as well. Now that they can kill shrines, they can use wolves. Loken's going to be very good at cleaning these up with his AC. And now Liquid's got to be pretty scared here. Dragon Knight ulti. And on OG's side, I guess they just pause, wait, slow this down a little bit, wait till a regular exorcism, and then they can take another fight. But worst case, they put a refresher shard about.
Octarine is now on that Death Prophet.
That is, man, he is so. This is like the most fun Prophet we've had all tournament.
It's not that you're getting a nullifier in the build order now for Jirax. So the money is rolling. It may be optimistic. He's at 3K gold right now, so it's not that out of the ballpark.
I mean, he can basically blink, stun, prevent BKBs on a hero like Enchantress. It's certainly a good option. This is a lot of the way that OG's been using Earth Spirit late game. Has been their Sand King version, their Sand King stop out. He does different tricks of Sand King, not really good at initiating late game, but if he can do Blink Boulder Smash really rapidly, it's getting pretty similar. And armor's not bad this game against Juggernaut, so OG optimizing in pretty weird ways, but could give them the big advantage they need.
And what a state of the game. We have
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
First, we had the little from Liquid with the advantage of the first bump up. Then we just drop down and go straight back up again with Big Ear. And then back towards G. But the experience, it's just big. This is just a game of swings.
It really is. And it's got to be scary for Liquid. Their ability to initiate late game is kind of reliant on either Sand King or Dragon Knight here. So that means they're going to do like a Burrow Strike with a Warlock Golem follow, maybe a Dragon Knight stun or Sand King stun, but that's one guy and a little bit of AoE here. With Exorcism and Lasso.
Watch S fall like a hawk. He's the one. The Owl Rider, not even a Battle Rider, he's an Owl Rider of this game, looking for the target. Miracle almost presenting himself with the lasso, and the target jumps in. He's in the back line, he got blocked, the Yule Center up on the flash as well. They bring down Resolution. A huge streak taken, the death is out. And how much did you commit just to kill off Cora? It's all not targeting his TP, they regret their decision. OG, they did not the initiation they wanted. He's put so hard for it, and Liquid punished them. And
the worst case scenario, basically, they went on the Death Prophet. Jerax tries to jump in to counter initiate. He also gets caught up in the stuns. Worst possible situation to be in. And a small mistake, in my opinion, he used Weave aggressively. It's just outside the AoE of Death Prophet. I feel like if Death Prophet had Weave there, an extra 10 armor, everything changes.
So there's
maybe
Resolution.
She'd stay alive. Here comes the Weave. There it is. Barely misses Resolution. That would have been a couple more, an extra plate mail worth of armor against his tower. These right clicks. Jerax gets saved. There's a two-man burrow strike. Ends up committing a grave on Jerax, thinking that Rezo could save himself, but he could not. Not survivable enough there. He's up in 30 seconds. Same as his exorcism cooldown. So they have to hold on until these two heroes get alive. Let the racks fall and then play with their regular.
Right to let it fall, but attack. No tell. BKB is out. So down for GH. That was The
Dire's
10-second
middle barracks
BKB
are
is
under
no
attack.
doubt. Fortification as well. OG, maybe without maybe without the initiation of the team fight, Liquid will be happy with what they got, and it's just going to be a racks for racks trade for the mid lane for either both of these sides.
Yeah, they should have some games now even again.
You say it was an intentional bait from Nortel.
Dire's top shrine is
I mean,
under attack.
his whole plan is to stand on the high ground and let his schism hit the tower. So now I know. That's his plan. He's like, I'm going to stand stupid. They can initiate on me, but my plan is my team will back me. And they tried, but with getting caught in there as well, it was just one person to grave. The grave would have gone on Death Prophet, and everything would be a little different. But with 2 heroes getting caught, maybe maybe Fly misclicked.
G are coming.
But
I mean, Liquid are coming. Straight mid, they'll use the mantra versions of Miracle to push out the lane. You do have G-Rex giving a nudge to the bottom, and OG are nearby. Liquid under the cover of smoke. Who's going to be this is 1-2 of them? The smoke breaks. Still blink at the fly. That's our best 4. He gets hit by the corner away. They just walk here. The outrider, but with it, you Storm is completely waved, but Miracle has a double damage from him this time. The rocket drop against the Death of Warlock. Dogs just choking him, and OG have no real answer. Even the shallow graves from Cloud. Not enough. Down he goes. 3 without buyback for OG, and this is the ticket to push, the ticket to ride straight down the mid lane and potentially into the quarterfinals.
Radiant's
could this just be the end of the game here? I mean,
attack.
they've got to hold on for a really long time here. I mean, this is tier 4 tower still.
You got 2 supports only to do this.
Liquid's got really put in that. He's on Dragonite as well. He's ultimate for a bit.
Like
no, they're going to do the safe thing.
G-Rex has 1,000 gold. Like, is this when you buy some kind of item that can help you?
I'm not sure, like Lowercase maybe, or no, they don't. The Spurs are going to try to end it right now. You don't see the buyback save, but they know they make them all.
He's got lasso. They need to get a double lasso to get the fence. That's the only way they can save themselves. They go with the fire strikes. G-Rex. The action is still exposed. They got him in range for the fountain. It's slowing down. G-Rex again once more. You need to hold the line. 1.1k. 900, 600, almost 0. 433. It was not a Hillswinger, and OG have 3 heroes going down without buyback. That's going to be bitter in the mouth.
Yeah.